Hello, dear students, Jai Hind, very good morning. Welcome back. As in our last lecture, in lecture number 7, we have been calculating the examples of finding compound interest when the interest is counted annually, as you all know. And at that time, I mentioned one very important aspect, that compound interest can be calculated either annually, that means yearly, half yearly, that is 6 monthly, and quarterly, that is tri-monthly also. In our lecture number 7, if you can remember, we only concentrated on solving the examples where compound interest is counted annually only. In today's lecture, our target is to solve all those examples where compound interest is not counted annually, but it is to be counted half yearly. So, dear student, examples which we solved in previous lectures were quite different from the examples which we are solving in today's lecture. Okay. So first, dear student, chapter number 6. Okay. Name of the chapter, ratio and proportion. And in this particular chapter, we are targeting the topic of compound interest, as you know. Okay. And today in lecture number 8, we are going to solve all those examples where interest is counted half yearly. So, dear student, in solving these examples, you have to be very conscious, understand in representing the data. Presentation of data is very important in solving this such examples. Okay, let us try to solve one example where the interest is to be counted half yearly. Okay, dear student, as usual, I will solve for you two examples, two to three example, and one you will solve, understand, during the lecture instantly as an SLP. Okay, let us solve the first one. Let us first write the example. Please note down. Find find compound interest Find compound interest on rupees. Find compound interest on rupees 25,000 25,000 at 8%. Find compound interest on rupees 825,000 at 8% for, see the data dear student, for 1.5 year. Understand? For 1.5 year, if interest is counted or calculated, dear student, interest is counted, compounded, calculated, whatever word you can use, half yearly. Okay. First you note down the question, dear student. Okay. And this is the caution point in solving this example. First you please note down the data, then we will represent the data, understand, by considering this very important word, interest is to be counted or calculated half yearly. This word, why I am asking you to highlight, because this word will help you to represent the basic data in some different manner than those previous example. There is some minor modification in the data you have to note down the sum. Now dear student, let us write this way. Let what is the principal note down 25,000 rupees. Okay. Now dear student, here you need to concentrate. What is rate of interest? 8%. And remember one thing very clearly, dear student. Rate of interest are always charged annually. But here you are going to count interest not annually but half yearly. But that was the rate of interest mentioned annually. And you are going to count interest half yearly. So what should we do? You have to divide the rate of interest by 2, because you are not going to count the interest annually, but you are going to count interest half yearly. So dear student, whatever rate of interest, understand, has been mentioned, needs to be halved. Okay, so rate of interest 8 upon 2, that is 4%. Remember this is very important. Whenever interest is counted half yearly, rate of interest to be divided by 2. Okay, one more thing, dear student, n interest is to be counted for 1.5 year. Can you tell me 1.5 year means how many period of half year? 3. You understood this? 1.5 year means 6 months, 2.5 year 12 months, 3.5 year 18 months. So dear student, this is also very important and you should note it down because it has been mentioned here. Interest is to be counted for 1.5 year. So dear student, 1.5 year includes how many period of half year? 3 period. So here you have to write n equal to 3. Don't write year, just you write 3 period. Okay. First, my dear student, before you solve example, this needs to be very clear in your mind. Either interest is to be counted half yearly, annually, quarterly, no change is going to take place in principle, no change. What is going to take change is the rate of interest. Whatever the rate of interest needs to be halved, and from the given you have to determine. Suppose here they have written 2 year. The 2 year include how many period of half year? 4 period. This way you need to place the value of n. So you need to be very conscious regarding this. 1.5, 3 period of half year. Okay. Now dear student, formula, no change in the formula. P into bracket 1 plus r upon 100 raised to n equals to P, that is 25,000, 1 plus rate of interest, that is 4 upon 100, and how many period of half year? 3 periods. Is it clear? Now dear student, simple cancellation. For 1 ja, for 25 ja. So this is 25,000 into bracket 1 plus 1 upon 25 raised to 2. Next step, dear student, as you all know, is of taking LCM. Understand? You know we have taken this in previous examples also in our early lecture. 25 anja 25 plus 1 26 upon 25. Let me continue here. 25,000 into 26 upon 25 whole square, because power appears is 2, so you will repeat 26 upon 25 twice. Okay, 26 upon 25 into 26 upon 25. Just a minute, sorry dear student, 3. So you will repeat it 3 times. Okay, 26 upon 25. Okay, is it clear? Let us do further cancellation. 25 1 ja 25, 3 zeros. Further cancellation by 25, 25 1 ja 25, 40 ja. One more cancellation by 5. Is it possible? Yes. 5 5 ja 5, 8 ja. Whatever cancellation are possible has been done. Now in the numerator, 26 into 26 into 26 into 8. Now dear student, 26 into 26, 676, you already know. 676 to be multiplied by 26 and further by 8. Let us do it. You can also do with me. 676 into 26. 6 6 are 36, 3 carry. 6 7 are 42 plus 3, 45, 5, 4 carry. 6 6 are 36 plus 4, 40. Further, 2 6 are 12, 1 carry. 2 7 are 14, 1 15. 5 1 carry. 2 6 are 12 plus 1, 13. 6 7 5 1 7. 26 into 26 into 26 into 8. Okay. 8 6 ja 48, 4 carry. 8 7 ja 56 plus 4 60, 0 6 carry. 8 5 ja 40 plus 6 46, 6 4 carry. 8 7 ja 56 plus 4 60, 0 6 carry. 8 1 ja 8 plus 6 14. This is, dear student, the final product of the numerator you got, 140608 upon 5. Okay, upon 5. That is what we got. Okay, now after doing this calculation, understand? Okay, now just after getting this product of numerator. Let us just to bring here multiplied by 2. That is also easy thing to do, dear student. Upon 10. Okay. And 2 8 ja 16. 2 6 ja 12 and 28. Just cut the decimal 28,121.6 plus 0 rupees. Okay. So this is compounded amount. Just to conclude either you are correct or not, your compounded amount by a scratch of common sense always going to be more than the principal. You got it. Understand? 28,121.60 rupees. So we got, dear student, compound amount. Let us get CI. CI, as you know, A minus P. A, that is 28,121.60 minus 25,000. This is going to be 3,121.60 rupees. So this is the way you got compound interest. Please just verify the example, dear student. Okay. We are still going to solve one more example which includes the same concept. Interest to be counted annual, half yearly only. Okay. Just check how can you solve this. Okay. Then we'll move for another example of the same concept, but you try to understand this. Okay. You need to concentrate on this point very well. That is, always whenever you come across such example where interest is to be counted half yearly, you need to concentrate on few points. That is, principle need not to be altered at all. What is needed modification in the rate of interest and in the period, and here never you need to write year. You have to just assess out the period involved in that. Understood? Okay. Must have written this example. One more example of the same type. Okay. Let us solve it. Example number 2, where also you are going to count interest half yearly, that's the period of 6 monthly. Okay. Let us note down the example. Okay. Here is the example, dear student. Example number 2. What is that? Find, please note down. Find compound interest okay on rupees. Find compound interest on rupees 20,000 at find compound interest on rupees 20,000 at 20% for 2 years. If interest is compounded half yearly. Okay. First, dear student, do one thing, note down the given data, and this is the word of conscious for us. You need to concentrate on this particular word, that is, interest is to be counted half yearly. You need to concentrate on this word because from this word actually you are going to count the change in rate of interest, and at the same time you are also going to count change in period, that is n. Both are very important points. Okay. You must first note down the sum and understand. Find compound interest on rupees 20,000 at 20% for 2 years. If the interest is half yearly, okay, let's first calculate it. Okay, see dear student, first, as you know, let what is the principal given? Rupees 20,000. Okay, as you all know, because the interest is counted annually, rate of interest has to be halved. Okay, so 20 upon 2 turns out to be 10% rate of interest. And dear student, you are going to count interest for a period of 2 years, which definitely include how many periods of half year? 4 periods of half year are inclusive in 2 years tenure. You can understand it very easily. Understood, right? So what should I write? N equal to, I have write 4 periods. Understand? Because 2 year include 4 periods of half year. Okay. Now dear student, the formula A equals to P into bracket 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. First, what is the value of P? 20,000. 1 plus rate of interest 10% upon 100 raised to 4. Okay. Next step, 20,000. Here further cancellation is possible. 10 1 ja, 10 10 ja. So you got in bracket 1 plus 1 upon 10 raised to 4. Okay. In next step, dear student, you are going to take LCM. Okay. If we take 10 as LCM, 10 1 ja 10 plus 1 11 upon 10. Next step we carry out further here, equal to 20,000 into bracket 11 upon 10 raised to 4. Okay. Because 4 power appears here, you will multiply 11 upon 10 4 time. Okay. 11 upon 10 to 11 upon 10, you have to take it 4 time because the power appeared here is 4. Now, as you know, further cancellation 0 0 0 0, 4 zeros are cancelled, dear student. 11 11 11 11 2 in numerator, nothing in the denominator. As you know, dear student, mark one thing, 11 into 11, that is 121. Again 11 into 11, 121. So simply 121 into 121 into 2. You understood? Just carry on the multiplication by yourself also. Just 121 into 121. 121, then 242, again 121, 14641. So they, and into 2 still you need to multiply. 2 2 4 ja 8, 2 6 ja 12, 1, okay, 9 and 2. So you got 2 9 282 rupees. This is, dear student, by this simple calculation, you already got compounded amount. This is compounded amount, and as taught you just the simple carry and conclusive, your amount is always needs to be more than the principal mentioned here. Amount is always more than the principal. That's a simple common sense of analyzing any example. Okay. Now, as usual, compound interest, dear student. A minus P. A, that is 29282 minus 20,000. Okay. So this is going to be 9,282 rupees. Okay, dear student. So can you understand one very simple aspect, that the money lender has just lended only rupees 20,000 he lent, and he was receiving how much interest in just a short period of 4 years? 9,282 rupees. Okay, because the interest is counted here in this particular example half yearly. So whenever the interest are counted half yearly, this is going to happen. You understand? In annual also you are getting more interest because it is compound interest. Here so it is compound interest and it is counted half yearly. So definitely it is going to double the interest you will receive. Okay. So this is the way you have to solve any example based understand on compound interest where interest is counted half yearly. So you need to be very conscious. And as I told you, dear students, in our previous lecture we just solved those examples only where interest is compounded annually. So, in those examples in the previous lecture, as you know, no modification in principal rate of interest and no change at all, just represent the simple data, apply the formula of A and simply find compound interest. But dear student, in today's lecture the examples which we targeted, in those examples principle remains the same, no alteration to be done in that, but you need to be very conscious. You have to make two changes. One change, that is in rate of interest. Every time whenever you solve any example and if you just catch this caution point word, that is interest to be compounded annually, what you will do, you will have the rate of interest, whatever the rate of interest is given needs to be halved divided by 2. And how to represent n, so that is to be represented by counting how many periods of half year are involved in given tenure of the time. Understand? If given tenure of 1 year, 2 period, 1.5 year 3 period, 2 year 4 period, 2.5 year includes 5 period of half year. This is the way you need to concentrate and solve such type of examples. Okay, dear student, so in today's lecture we simply targeted those examples where interest is to be counted half yearly. So concentrate how to modify the data and solve the examples. Okay, thank you very much.